Welcome back to Breakfast Television. Well, we've got 11 million Canadians living with diabetes or prediabetes, and that number will only go up as our population ages. That's why there is so much research underway right now on how to improve the quality of life for people with this chronic disease. So here to tell us about some new technology that can help these patients is Dr. Jeff Winterstein. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
So why don't we start with just sort of what issues are really the big issues facing people with diabetes these days?
So diabetes is a balancing act between living with high blood sugars and the consequences of that, cardiovascular disease, stroke, and so on, and the fear of always having low blood sugars, which are really hard to live with. They cause dizziness and really detrimental symptoms, and in the long run, bad for your brain and bad for your heart. So you're always going through this fine line trying to keep your sugars in balance. And there are medications to do that and tools to do that. And both are sort of costly sometimes. And patients really have a hard time with the affordability of both the medications and devices.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
It's very pervasive. And of course, they're dealing with this on a regular basis many times every day, right?
Yeah, and if you think of someone who's developed diabetes later on in life, it's a big lifestyle change for them.
For sure.
They've never had to monitor their sugars as carefully as they have to once they have diabetes, and it's a real big swing in the way they have to live their lives.
For sure it is. Now, the 2018 clinical practice guidelines are out now. So what are we seeing in these guidelines, and what are they all about?
So with respect to the new technology in the guidelines, it's sort of looked at what we have available to us now and given them more importance in terms of preventing the low blood sugars.
Right, right.
And with the technology that we have and the improved monitoring capabilities, we can avoid some of those pitfalls and some of those lows that we see with diabetes.
So how are people currently managing the sugars?
So the most common way of managing your sugars is the self-monitoring blood glucose, or the SMBG, which is the finger sticks. And
right.
You've probably seen a lot of diabetics always pricking their fingers,
sure.
Sometimes in the morning or sometimes 2 hours after they eat. And seeing a lot of diabetics, they end up with calluses on their fingers. They don't like doing it.
Yeah.
Can bruise. It's really, it permeates your life a little
sure.
bit. And there are now better ways of doing it. And, they have to do it, right? If you're injecting something that can cause you to go low or have a low blood sugar, you need to monitor that properly. And the pitfall of not monitoring properly, or how I tell patients sometimes, is it's like driving without a speedometer.
Right.
If you're injecting your sugars and you don't know how much insulin to inject, it's bad. And a lot of population just do that because they don't either want to prick their finger or they can't afford the technology or the glucometers that will help them do that.
Okay. So how is new technology playing into this, though? This is exciting.
So other than the pricking of your finger or the self-monitoring blood glucose, we've had something called continuous glucose monitoring, which is a more invasive sort of technology. It's a little bit more complicated. It needs calibration, and it can give you real-time readings to a phone or to a third party, and that really helps with the lows. It is a little expensive,
sure,
and like I said, it is a little involved.
Right.
We have a newer technology available to us. It's called flash glucose monitoring.
Okay.
And this basically is, as stated, you have a patch placed in your arm.
Yeah.
You do it yourself. It's very easy. In fact, I did it myself last night. And you put your glucometer, you just flash your glucometer over the sensor, and you can get your
just like that.
Your sugar level just like that.
Okay, so show us. You've put it on.
So I'll show you right here.
Okay, so we're running out of time, so let's have a look at this.
All you do is you turn on your glucometer like that, and you flash it over, and there you have your sugar. Oop,
wow, just like that.
There you go.
There it is. Yeah, so he's got the monitor on underneath his jacket, underneath of his shirt.
Yeah. And I could show you the monitor if you want.
Sure, let's do it really quick.
I'll just take this off and just.
Sure. And so people can put this on themselves.
Yes, absolutely. And just if my wife is watching, I'm getting undressed in the name of science. And science only.
Thank you. So, and it's on your upper arm?
It's on the, it's on the upper arm.
Does it need to be placed on the upper arm, or can it be somewhere else?
Typically, we suggest to put it on the upper arm, and here it is right here.
There. Can we get a shot of that? Yeah, there we go.
Right there. And you change it every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And you can shower with it, and as you can see, you can take your sugars through a jacket or even a winter jacket.
No
so for
kidding.
Canada, yeah, for here in Canada, it's very useful.
Wow, so it's really great to have this option.
Yeah, and it avoids the finger stick. So it's,
And it does.
Yeah.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Dr. Winterstein, for trying that out for us and
No
showing
problem.
us how it works.